On this episode, let's talk about hot weather and your pets. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Val Talks Pets, the forum for pet parents and enthusiasts alike. Having been in the pet industry for over 10 years now, I'm going to share with you issues and questions that arise as I work with pet parents on a day-to-day basis. I am not a veterinarian, but I do have certifications in canine, feline, small animal, fish and herptile, and avian health and nutrition from the University of California, Davis Extension. You can't deny that the weather has been changing and hot days have started to become the norm in places that never saw such heat before. Our pets often do not do well in the heat. So what can we do to make things a bit more comfortable for our fur kids? When it comes to a really hot day, or days for that matter, the question about whether to walk our dogs always comes up. Our dogs don't realize that the heat may be detrimental to walking for them and are still anxious to get out. I know lots of people who just forego the walk when it's too hot. However, some people have no choice, as the walk is the way the dog gets out to do its business. In this case, the walk may have to be for just that. Get your business done, and back we go. The other options suggested are to walk early in the morning and later in the evening before dark. Alternatively, if walking after dark in your area is not a problem, then go out after dark. But as I said, if the walk is for the dog to do its business, twice a day probably isn't going to cut it. So those short outs for one purpose are probably going to have to suffice. If your dog needs an exercise walk, then you will have to make a judgment call as to whether it is worth it or make a special effort to go early or later. And when it comes to walking in hot weather, it is imperative that you do the palm test on pavement. This means that if you put your hand on the pavement and it is hot, then it is too hot for your dog's paws. I saw online just a few days ago a poor dog at the vet whose paws were raw from walking on hot pavement. I wonder if that vet blew their top seeing that. Now, there is a solution of sorts. Canada Pooch makes hot pavement boots. These boots are designed to allow the dog to walk on hot pavement without burning their pads. If your dog has no problem wearing boots, this could be a solution. Plus, the balloon-style boots can help with this as well. However, I feel that if the pavement is hot enough to burn your dog's paws, maybe it is too hot to be out walking. Just saying. Now, as for just outside time, if there are nice shady areas for your dog to lounge under, then a bit of time outside is probably fine. But you will need to monitor for excessive panting and or drooling. This means the dog needs a cool place to go to, probably in the house, especially if you have air conditioning, or a place in the basement to cool down. If you have a backyard pool that the dog enjoys, then that is perfect. If not, perhaps a kiddie pool would work? Oh, well, we got a kiddie pool for Tundra several years ago, and it was a bust. There was no way he would go in that pool. So it depends on the dog. As well, there are some really great new products that have come out that are designed for dogs to have fun with water. Goo Ease makes a nice foldable pool and a splash and spray pad. I've seen some doggy sprinklers that Ollie and Tato have shown on their social media, and they look really fun. But just as Ollie would have nothing to do with one of the sprinklers, Tato had fun. It just goes to show the dog may not take to a water toy, but you can always try. Also, when outside, I always make sure I have several bowls of water around the property. There are chill bowls as well. These bowls have an insert under the stainless steel bowl that you can take out and put in the freezer. Once frozen, this is inserted back into the base of the bowl and it keeps the water cool. Some people put ice cubes in the water or even give ice cubes to the dog. However, there has been some concerns expressed that ice cubes can damage a dog's teeth, or there could be a choking hazard if pieces or shards come off. A choking hazard could also present if the ice is floating in the water and the dog swallows it while drinking. I'm not too sure about the potential of damaging a tooth, since a dog's teeth are made to endure chewing a bone, for example. But if the dog is senior or has compromised teeth with dental issues, then this could be a problem. And never give a puppy ice cubes until it has its adult teeth. Let's look at some other options. Let's start with cooling bandanas. So cooling bandanas basically work on the premise that as water evaporates, there is a coolness released. A cooling bandana has to be soaked in cold water and wrung out and then placed around the dog's neck. I actually like to put the wet bandana in the freezer for a bit. Some bandanas use PVA, polyvinyl alcohol, a water-soluble synthetic polymer, and mesh technology. A new product by Canada Pooch is a cooling snood. This product takes the bandana to a whole other level. It is sort of like a tighter buff like they wear on Survivor. It covers the neck, part of the chest, and holds close as opposed to a bandana that can hang down. The Max Chill Cooling Snood uses cool core technology and is chemical free. You add water and wring it out, wave it to activate the cool core, and on the dog it goes. I haven't tried this yet, but it's on my list. And believe it or not, Canada Pooch also makes cooling hats. What's next? Well, how about a cooling mat? Now, cooling mats use either a gel or water to absorb and dissipate the dog's body heat. The idea is that the dog or cat, for that matter, can lie on the mat and feel cooler. The mats that have gel in them are a lot more convenient, believe me. The gel is non-toxic, and when the dog or cat lies on the mat, their heat causes the gel to absorb the heat, creating a cooling sensation. The gel then releases the heat into the surrounding air once your dog moves off the mat, allowing it to cool down and recharge. These mats require some kind of gentle pressure to be activated. A water-based mat means you will have to fill the mat with cool water. And when the dog or cat lies on it, they feel that coolness coming through. I found this kind of mat to be hard to get the water ratio correct. And of course, when the dog lies on it, the mat moves as the water adjusts. And for some dogs, that is an unsettling feeling, and they may not want to lie on the mat. I think the gel mat is easier to use and more comfortable for the pet. Plus, you don't have to find a cold water source. But you never know, some pets may really like the cool feeling and movement of the water mat. And to go low tech, you can always soak a towel in cold water or partially cool it in the freezer and see if your dog or cat will lie on it. I have a cooling mat made with gel, and guess what? Tundra will lie on it. His preference? Dig a hole and lie in the dirt. In the same vein as cooling mats and bandanas, there are cooling toys. These toys use the same technology as a cooling mat, where the toy is soaked in cold water or frozen, and this activates the cooling process. The dog can then play with the toy and feel the coolness in their mouth or have it near them. Now, to get quite fancy for your cat in particular, there are available cooling houses for cats. These little houses are insulated and come with a reusable ice pack. A small dog would fit in one of these. If you have a very warm apartment or house during heat waves, this could help Kitty feel more comfortable. Another product I have seen lately that works for both cats and dogs, and even small animals for that matter, is a cooling bed. Now, these are meant for indoor use. Some use a cooling or ice sheet cover over a bed, or some have a cooling technology. I've seen some that you can throw on the couch, and they have raised sides for the dog's head. The reviews seem quite good, and the price will depend on where you are. On the lower tech side of things, to keep your pet cool, you can always set up fans in the house and put a bowl of ice cubes underneath the fan. We have done this with Tundra, and he enjoys it for a while and then moves away. You can also give some frozen treats. I have frozen flavored goat's milk treats for Tundra, but if you have a mold of some kind, particularly a popsicle mold, you can make whatever you like. You can use bone broth, goat's milk, coconut milk, for example, and you can also put fruit in it, like blueberries. So, just like us, a nice cold treat can go a long way. Well, I think that covers things. Keeping our pets cool in the summer is a must, and we just may have to be a bit creative. And remember, never leave a dog in a car on a hot day with the windows cracked. It's still too hot. So, do some shopping around and some research for some great ideas to keep your pet cool this summer, because as I say, knowing is caring. Thank you for listening to Val Talks Pets. Please remember to follow or subscribe to ensure that you never miss an episode. To really help the show and to make it easier for others to find, please rate and review each episode that you find interesting and helpful. And don't forget that you can also email me at val@valtalkspets.com with topics you would like me to address or with any questions you may have. Also, check out my website at valtalkspets.com and let me know what you think and how we can improve upon it. Thanks for caring.